Shalom. Welcome back. The Hour Hidden History Radio. I'm Deacon Athan, and to my left,
Captain Joel.
To my right,
Officer Judge Riel.
To the left again,
Officer Haim.
Officer Laquat.
welcome back to episode 3 of Our Hidden History Radio. We're gonna go into some more topics. Some pretty important topics. I want to pretty much delve into the history of the feminist movement, Christianity, which you're gonna find is pretty much they go hand in hand. In terms of being deceptive, in terms of being destructive towards our people, toward targeting our people. All right, so let's go. Today's topic is entitled Eve of Destruction. That's twofold: Eve of Destruction and the Religion of Rebellion. It'll be part 1 if we lack the time to continue the class. So we're gonna open up with 1 Corinthians 11, verse 1, because I've been meaning for a while to address the Black Lives Matter movement, which is a offshoot or a branch of a political agenda that is used as a front for Black rights, when it's really in actuality a political / homosexual agenda being pushed at the expense of Black bodies. That's what it's Black Lives Matter is really. It's about the expense. It's being used as a Trojan horse to institute homosexuality and broken homes without broken Black and brown people homes without fathers, removing fathers from the home. And this is not the first time we've had a movement that worked towards destroying the Black home, the Black community. All right, so I'm definitely going to delve into Black Lives Matter today because I haven't had the time to do it, but today I'm going to try to do it more. 1 Corinthians 11 and verse 1. All right.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 1. Be followers of me, even as I also am of Christ.
So Paul said, be followers of me, even as I also am a follower of Christ. Go ahead.
Now I praise you, brethren, that ye remember me in all things, and keep the ordinances as I delivered them to you.
Keep the ordinances as I have delivered them unto you. Go ahead.
Verse 3. But I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
So one of the things that Paul reminded us is that I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ. Go ahead.
And the head of the woman is the man.
And the head of the woman is the man. Now, society, of course, as you know, has taken that and turned that into misogyny. Woman hatred, bigotry, bias. You hear these different terminologies that are being thrown out there when it comes to the man having power or rulership or being the head of the woman. Go ahead.
And the head of Christ is God.
And Christ himself has a head. His head is his father. And a woman's head is the man. And a man's head is Christ. There's an order to things. There's an order, a natural order of things. As there is in nature, so there is in mankind, in humankind. Okay? Men rule the world. I'm just going to be flat out with y'all. I don't give a damn what TV tells you. I don't care what the radio tells you. It is a man's world. Any privilege that women have in this world, they have because man gave it to them. Whether she's a police officer, whether she is a construction worker, whether she is an ice cream truck driver, whatever position women have of authority in this world is because man gave it to them. And I'm gonna prove it to y'all because a lot of y'all on this misogyny, they're trying to make it where you can't say anything about women or men. But we have to get out of that. We have to get out of that. You know, we're not going to, we're not going to allow ourselves to be silenced by the media. The media tends to silence brothers and sisters who speak out against the abnormal, which is being disguised as normal. All right. So let's go to Genesis 2:18. So Paul established the order. We're going to find out where Paul got the order from. Genesis chapter 2 and verse 18. All right. Watch this.
The book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 18. And the Lord God said, it is not good that the man should be alone.
So the Lord said it's not good that man should be alone. Go ahead.
I will make him and help meet for him.
I will make him and help suitable for him. Jump to verse 20 to 24.
Verse 20. And Adam gave names to all cattle and to the fowl of the air and to every beast of the field. But for Adam, there was not found an help meet for him.
Now, I give a bit more detail regarding Adam in last episode, but it says the Lord gave Adam a place to live, and he gave Adam a job, which is as a husbandman or a farmer. Then he also gave Adam another job naming the animals. The Most High gave Adam wisdom, power. That's what we're going to read. All right. So it says, and Adam gave names to all the cattle and the fowl of the air and every beast of the field. But for Adam, go ahead.
But for Adam, there was not found an help meet for him.
There was not found an help meet for him. Animals had their female counterparts. The sheep had the female sheep. The beast had the female beast. Okay. But Adam didn't have a female counterpart of his own as of yet. Go ahead.
And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam. And he slept, and he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which the Lord God had taken from man made he a woman, and brought her unto the man. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She should be called woman.
So Adam said, she shall be called woman because she came out of me, or she is of me. Go ahead.
Because she was taken out of man.
So Adam named all the animals, and Adam named his female counterpart a woman. So the term woman came from who? A man. Came from men. Go ahead.
Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh.
And they shall become one again. Once they get married, that symbolizes you becoming one again, because she was taken out of him. And once they became man and wife, you become one again, because she is one bone of your bones, flesh of your flesh. That symbolizes marriage. That's what marriage is about. The union of man and woman, because woman once came out of man. And when they come back together in marriage, they're formed as one once again. So God didn't pull a man out of Adam. God didn't pull a woman out of Eve. That's not relationship. That ain't biblical. But Black Lives Matter is pushing something different from what God has established since the beginning of time. God gave man and women reproductive organs. Reproductive organs. For what purpose? To reproduce. Man cannot produce a man, woman cannot produce a woman. So that is not the natural order of things. It's not a hatred thing, or I'm afraid of homosexuals. No. Because y'all try to hide behind those words. Oh, you're homophobic. No. I'm godophobic, not homophobic. We deal with the natural order of things. But the world, the nation that rules this world, he deals with the unnatural order of things. And then our people who've been here for the past going on 400 years, who've been colonized and enslaved, we're slowly beginning to integrate or to assimilate into the mindset of our oppressors here in America and other parts of the world, primarily the Western world, primarily the European world, being Europeanized. In the time of the Greeks, it was called Hellenized. Okay, in the modern sense, it's referred to as assimilation. All right. So now let's get wisdom. No, let's get 1 Timothy 2:11. We're going to read the verse 13. 1 Timothy 2:11. We're going to read the verse 13.
The book of 1 Timothy, chapter 2, verse 11. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man.
So now you read that. Some of you women watching right now, you're like, oh, see, this is chauvinist. Another term I use, chauvinist. Why women got to be quiet for? Because y'all got big mouths. The black woman got the biggest mouth on the earth. There's no bigger mouth than the black woman's mouth.
Say what?
There's no bigger mouth than a black woman's mouth. None. Y'all surpass every mouth on the earth. Period. And it's not hatred, because I was raised by it. So I'm not saying that it's out of hatred or I hate women, I hate black women. No. But a lot of us were raised by big mouth grandmothers and mothers.
D.
Yeah.
Hey, I love my mother dearly, man. But when we used to do something, me and my brother would do something wrong, we would beg her, just beat us, just stop talking. The talking, the tongue lashing was worse,
right? It was
than the actual beating. We was like, just beat me and get it over with.
Right, get it over with. Exactly. So understand that as a people, especially black and brown people, black and Hispanics, regardless of your shade or whatever, blacks, whatever, in those communities, in the black and Hispanic communities, you're gonna have a big mouth mother, whether it be your abuela, your grandmother, your auntie. There's always that mouth in the house that scares the hell out of everybody in the house. It's just there. So Paul dealt with that spirit has been in our women for a long time. And Paul was addressing it in his letter through Timothy. Read on.
Verse 13. For Adam was first formed.
Now read verse 11 again from the top, real quick.
Verse 11. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection.
With all subjection, go ahead.
But I suffer not a woman to teach.
Because the women at this time were trying to exalt themselves above the men. They were trying to be the leaders and lead the men in this time. So Paul was checking them. Paul was checking them. Go ahead.
Nor to usurp authority over the man.
Nor to what?
To usurp authority over the man.
Nor to usurp authority, over the man. That's why Paul's saying, keep silence and learn in subjection. Because they were trying to usurp authority over the men. Go ahead.
But to be in silence.
But to be quiet. Don't run your mouth. Be respectful. Go ahead. Watch this.
For Adam was first formed.
So now he's explaining why the woman is to be subject to the man. For Adam was first formed. Go ahead.
Then Eve.
Then Eve came. Go ahead.
And Adam was not deceived.
And hold on a second. Don't jump ahead. Yeah, hold on to that. Let's get wisdom of Solomon 10. For Adam was first formed, then Eve. Because Eve came where? She came out of Adam. That's what made her a woman. Her being taken out of man. Adam was first. That's the order. That's the natural order of things. Man first, woman second. Now, we're not saying that the man is a step on top of the woman and she be a footstool. No. She was a helpmeet. She was a partner. She was his partner. They were one flesh. His wife, his support system, his supporter. Wisdom of Solomon 10 and verse 1. Wisdom of Solomon 10, verse 1.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10, verse 1. She preserved the first formed father of the world.
She is referring to wisdom because she represents the Most High refers to wisdom as a she because wisdom to us will be a comfort. She is a pillar of rest to us, a support. Okay, so the wisdom is oftentimes referred to as by Solomon as a woman. She gives us comfort. She gives us love in times of grief, and so on and so forth. So he's metaphorically speaking of wisdom as a woman. Read again.
She preserved the first formed father of the world.
She, wisdom, preserved the first formed father of the world. Adam was the first man ever made. He made Adam first, and he made Adam first and alone. Then he made other Adams after that one, but they had women. But the first Adam he made, the Alpha, I call him, the Alpha Adam, was alone. And that Adam was the one that Adam was the one that was given wisdom. Go ahead.
That was created alone and brought him out of his fall.
And brought him out of his fall. Go ahead. Verse 2. Verse 2.
And gave him power to rule all things.
And gave him power to rule all things. Gave Adam power to rule all things. That's why he gave Adam the power to name the animals. And when you read, Adam was also the one that all the other people around at the time sought wisdom from. The same way you had King Solomon in 1 Kings chapter 4, all nations came to him for wisdom. The same thing in the Garden of Eden with Adam. All the nations came to Adam for wisdom. Adam was the God on the earth. Adam was a God on earth. That's what the Lord said here. Here's the fish, here's the birds, here's the cattle. What you gonna name them? Because he gave Adam the wisdom to be able to name the animals. So a lot of the animals that we call birds today, Adam called the bird. We call it a whale. Adam named it a whale. We call them fish. Adam said that's a fish. That's a bird. That's a lion. That's a bear. Because Adam had the wisdom to do these things. So the nations would say, what's this? That's a lion. Okay, lion. Adam was a God on the earth. Everyone sought to Adam for wisdom. All right? He was a God on the earth. Read verse 2 already. Read verse 2 again.
And gave him power to rule all things.
And gave him power to rule all things. Adam had power to rule all things. Now, let's get Genesis 3 now. Genesis 3, verse 1.
The book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, have God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden?
So this serpent was more subtle than any beast in the field. And he said unto her, Ye should not. Read again.
Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord God had made.
Yep.
And he said unto the woman, Yea, have God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden?
So he's questioning her. He's saying to Eve, did God say to you, you can't eat of every tree of the garden? Now she knew, obviously, he knew the answer was yes. But go ahead.
And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden.
Because Adam told her that. Go ahead.
But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die.
So she understood right from wrong. She understood not the things she could do and things she could not do. Go ahead. Based upon Adam's instruction. Go ahead.
Verse 4.
You're going to read to verse 5. Go ahead.
And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die.
But so the devil said to the woman, if you eat of that tree, you won't die. Who told you that? Now, she just told him that they would. Satan said, no, that's not true. That's not true at all. Go ahead. Verse 5.
For God doth know that in the day you eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened,
You'll be enlightened. You'll gain wisdom. Go ahead.
and ye shall be as gods.
You and Adam shall be as gods. You and Adam shall rule all things. Because you'll have the same amount of wisdom that your husband has. Because Adam knew everything. Well, most things. But he said, you, Eve, can be just like your husband. You could be a goddess. You can be a diva. You can be equal to your man. Have power with your man. Because when you examine the Black Lives Matter movement, this whole Me Too thing, it's about women privilege. See, women don't want the positives and negatives of man. They just want the positives. They want all the high paying positions. They don't want to get killed by the police. They don't want that. Kill me too. Yeah, shoot me. Yeah, put your knee in my neck also. That's not fair. Why you only killing him? See, I ain't asking for that. Y'all want the high positions and all that stuff. Y'all want to be the boss, the diva, boss bitch. That's what y'all call yourselves, right? The boss bees, right? Bougie, sassy. Like what's her name be saying? What's that girl name? Megan Thee Stallion, that song. That's a hit now. Sassy, bougie. That's y'all. That's cute to y'all. That's cute. That's adorable to y'all. Y'all want privileges in terms of equality with men. Y'all want to be gods too. Satan introduced. Well, I'll get to that. But Satan introduced feminism to the woman. This is the time he first introduced it. Adam told you what? You'll die. Who said that? No, that's not true. You see, God knows if you eat of that tree that Adam said you can't eat from, you'll be wise. See, he don't want you to be wise like Adam is. But if you do eat from this tree, you'll be just as wise as Adam. You'll be equally powerful as Adam. This was what Satan's telling her. And she's like, that sounds good. Read on.
Knowing good and evil.
So you'll know good and evil. Now, remember, before this, all he knew was good. But he said, if you learn evil also, you'll be just like Adam. You'll be gods. You'll be a diva. You'll be a goddess. You'll be a queen. And she said, yeah, I like how that sounds. Like y'all like to hear it today. Your Beyoncés, your Nicki Minaj's, your Cardi B's, your Megan Thee Stallions, your Oprahs. Y'all admire and worship these women to a high standard. Because the so-called white man exalts them to that high standard.
And Deacon, it's always during these Edomite ruler empires. You know, Paul speaking mainly is during the time of Rome. And that issue always rises up when Esau infiltrates the minds of our women because it's within Esau's nature. You look at Esau's gods. When you look at what a person worships, you kind of know what they're about.
Yep.
When you look at Esau's gods, you have Diana, Aphrodite, you have the Queen of Heaven.
That'd be Wonder Woman. Diana of the Ephesians, right?
So almost everything is based upon woman power.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Esau, he has that philosophy, but he keeps his woman in check because he understands that if he gives the woman power, it's gonna diminish everything that he's trying to establish.
Right.
But what he does, he takes his philosophy, say, you know what? I know I have this thought in my mind, but I'm gonna put that on a black woman because I know if I put that same thought within a black woman, it's going to allow her to destroy the nucleus family. Right,
because he gives the woman, the white man gives the woman, America gives the woman a false sense of authority. It's not real authority. Because realistically speaking, y'all don't really have power over no men. There's nowhere in the world you can think of where women have complete and total domination over men. Nowhere. It's a false sense of authority. It's not real authority. Whether she's a CEO or a supervisor, she don't really own the business. She supervises the business. She has a high position in a business owned by or run by a man. You understand? So it's not real authority. Just like the authority Eve sought for wasn't real authority either. Because Satan introduced that to her. That was a trick to what? To get her to what? Go against, to rebel against Adam. So this is the first, what Satan did was Satan attacked a marriage. Satan basically disrupted the nuclear family. Adam and Eve were a family, a couple. And Satan disrupted that. And that caused a ripple effect that brought death into the world.
And Dick, and also this is why we get the LGBT movement.
Yep.
And that's the same thing they're doing.
Yep.
And that's why the woman think that there's a 50-50 equality with the men. And that's not true, because it doesn't matter what the female things they could do. Or you see they'll do weightlifting, or because the men do it, I could do it too. But you can't pregnant another woman, and that's why Esau's trying to do it by doing with the transgender, having the female that turns to a male get pregnant, and all of a sudden now, oh, my husband is pregnant. No, that's a female.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's a female. It's not a male. But he tricked their mind the same way, like you said. He tricked Eve in the garden.
Right.
Now she's still doing the same thing now today.
Right.
So that covenant is still in effect right now.
In America, I brought out last week, America worships Egypt. America worships Egypt. And Egypt was one of the first dark nations, particularly, to deify women as gods and make it more so of a matriarchal supremacy. But even in that instance, even when they deified the women, like they had Isis and so forth, even when they worshipped the woman, the pharaohs were still the ones in authority. You had female pharaohs, but female pharaohs were daughters of male pharaohs. So even when you had queens of Egypt, they were co-regents to their brothers, or they were co-regents to their fathers. The males still had dominance in Egypt, despite female pharaohs. You can count on maybe one hand female pharaohs, because the main ones you read about, most popular, is Nefertiti and the Cleopatra. And Cleopatra was white. That was a daughter of a Greek of the Ptolemaic dynasty. The Greeks took over Egypt and they whitewashed Egypt and made the Egyptian gods their gods. Then the Romans borrowed the Romans pretty much took the Greek gods and merged them into their own and gave them Latin names. Okay, because Diana is Isis. Isis goes back to Semiramis. Semiramis goes back to Nimrod's mother / wife of that madness. But the bottom line is that Egypt were one of the main nations after Babylon that pretty much, after Babylon, or during whatever, that pretty much made the woman a goddess, that deified the woman and made her a goddess. Babylon did it too. They had Semiramis, she became Venus. She became what's her name? Isis. She became Hathor. Forgot different names, but it's all the same woman. The same pagan trinity has been passed down to different nations up until Christianity. Ashtoreth, thank you. Ashtoreth, Ishtar, right. That's all the same woman. Isis, all the same woman. Diana, same
Aphrodite.
thing. Right. Aphrodite's Hera, Gaia, Queen of Heaven, Mother Earth. It's the same. Nature. Mother Nature. It's all the same. All the same. All of that was all a false sense or false ideology of woman dominance. Women do not run the world. You never will run the world, ever. I'm going to tell you to your face. Because America will tell you something different. Yeah.
It's just it's illusionary power in their mind. And when you look at it, women's, has this thought today in the 21st century, saying that, women's, gaining power, women's gaining, equal rights, to the man. You look at the world, the infrastructure of the world. You look at the pyramids, you look at the skyscraper, you look at the buildings, you look at the great empire, and you say, who built it? Women's body, her physiology alone doesn't support the growth of this world, of this earth. Her body doesn't allow her to build the mega infrastructures that we have today, and the things that she enjoys. So that alone shows you that her body alone is not in tune with the progress of this world. Right. It's impossible. Right. You can't carry these hard. What's the first thing a feminist do? They can't. If they need help, they have a refrigerator. Call the man. That's showing you right. Your body is not in tune with your mind. Right.
It's not.
You want to go to war. Your body's not in tune. You had your period in the middle of the plane.
Right.
You put damn Hillary Clinton, a damn woman out for president. Her body's not in tune. Next thing you know, she's having peaceful talks. They said, Iran, nuke. He said something against me, nuke.
Right. Now, women do play a role in terms of reproduction, bringing men into the world. Yeah, y'all play that role. And I'm not saying that should be that's your only purpose, but that is what you were brought into the world for. You were made to carry the seed of the man and to reproduce. Okay. Now, am I saying that's it? You just lay with you and bang you and that's it? No, I'm not saying that. But man and woman have a purpose. The woman's made her job is to support the man. The man is the backbone, is the leader of the family, the household of the family. The black man's the head, the woman's the spine. She's the spine. You need both. Both are very much both are very much important to the human body. Very important. But Esau knows once you cut the head off, the spine is useless, the body is useless. And the so-called white man, he knows this. He knows this. But the black woman has been trained to be just as much against the black man as the white man is. But read on.
Black people. Indeed. If you look at it, though, it's only the black woman that does really support her men.
Right.
Because the other nation, all their women is in order.
Right. They are.
Even though they still fight for that little power, the Chinese woman behind her men. The Japanese women, forget about it. That's why you see a lot of brothers would rather want to be with the Japanese women because of the submissive nation of the way that was brought up.
Right.
It's only our women.
Right.
Now it's our women.
Right now. Because back then it wasn't.
They supported us.
Right. They did. Back in the 60s, they supported us. Before the 60s, they supported us. During slavery, even when we was working in fields together, they supported us. They were loyal. There was respect. There was no baby mamas. There was no running around being ratchet. That was unheard of in the cotton fields. Unheard of. A ratchet slave. That wasn't unheard. That wasn't heard of.
Running.
There was no diva on the slave ships. There was no diva or gangster or boss bee
in the plantation.
In the damn plantation, man.
Not at all.
In the fields, nowhere. That's a new creation of the earth. That's a freak of nature of America. That's what that is. Yeah.
No, I was gonna say some in Sirach 26:14. It says there's nothing better than a woman that has a mind that is well instructed.
Right.
Now think about it. Instructed by whom? Instructed by your men, your leaders.
Right.
Their mind, our women today, mind is being instructed by Esau.
Right.
So there's no honor in that.
Right. A lot of sisters, believe it or not, y'all are not, even in marriage, some of you who are actually married, you're not really married to your husband. You're married to the white man. You're married to, that's your God. That's who you see. That's why oftentimes there's been surveys been done where they ask a woman, what do you want? You want a good man or you want a thug? I think you brought this to me yesterday.
Yes,
and most of them pick the thug because a thug is a man that what? He take charge.
Right.
He don't take no SH from you. He don't play with you. He ain't laughing with you. You ain't smacking him upside his head. You know, he ain't playing with you. He's authoritative. He's firm. He's strong. He's tough. Yeah, women like that because there's a power behind that. The man's weak. And some of you women, y'all prey on weak men. They weak. Yes, dear. No, dear. Y'all look for that. Because America trains y'all to look for that. Rather than build them up, you look for a man that's already broken and you use him as a puppet and you talk to him and run around the house. And then a lot of you men who have that going on raise your children or daughters and they're the same way as a woman has raised. They behave the same way as if the child was raised by a single mother. Because really, he is a single mother. You a mother too. But your wife is running the house. So read on Exodus 32 verse 25.
The book of Exodus. You looking for deep?
No, give me what's that? I'm sorry. Go back to Genesis 3 again. Genesis 3, verse
5 again.
Yeah, verse 6.
Verse 6.
Yeah, do read to verse 10.
The book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 6. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise.
See, the tree to be desired, you desired to make her wise, enlightened, gave her understanding. Go ahead.
She took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat.
Go ahead.
And the eyes of them both were opened, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons.
Right. Read on. So they were naked. Go ahead.
And they heard the voice of the Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord God amongst the trees of the garden.
The trees would be people. That's another class, right?
And the Lord God called unto Adam and said unto him, Where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked, and I hid myself.
Naked, and I hid myself. Go ahead.
And he said, Who told thee that thou was naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree? Whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat?
So what does naked mean? Give me Exodus 32, verse 25. Because people say, oh, Adam and Eve walked around butt naked all the time. No, if they walked around butt naked, there'd be no reason for him to say he's naked. Okay? There's no reason to say I'm naked if he's already naked. So it's not referring to, that's a metaphor. It's not talking about them being literally naked. It's referring to something else. What they got involved in. Exodus 32, verse 25. Read.
The book of Exodus, chapter 32, verse 25. And when Moses saw that the people were naked, for Aaron had made them naked unto their shame among their enemies.
Because Aaron made them, took their earrings from the people when Moses was gone and made them a golden calf to worship. So this is going into idolatry. This is going into idolatry. Adam and Eve dabbled in idolatry. Idolatry goes back to those gods you mentioned earlier: Isis, Horus, Semiramis, Ashereth, Ishtar. And you gain a certain level of wisdom dealing with those gods. But that's evil. That's the left side. And she introduced that nonsense to Adam, and Adam, who knew better, partook in it also. And then the roles, and by him doing that, the roles are what? Reversed. The roles are reversed, and death was brought into the world. Give me First Chronicles.
Can I make a point on that,
28. Yeah.
Can I make a point on that?
Yeah.
Real quick, I'm not sure if you have this in your scriptures. Was in Solomon 2, verse 24?
Yeah, I have that, yeah.
Oh,
2 Chronicles 28.
Bruh.
I'm gonna get you. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Can't win.
I got it covered.
2 Chronicles 28, verse 1.
It's a good try, man. You know, that's good.
The book,
Sorry. One is gonna be verse 1 to 6, and we jump to 19.
the book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 28, verse 1.
But this is regarding King Ahaz. Go ahead.
Ahaz was 20 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 16 years in Jerusalem. But he did not that which was right in the sight of the Lord, like David his father. For he walked in the ways of the kings of Israel, and made also molten images for Baalim.
Right, so he made molten images, like pretty much like what Aaron did earlier regarding making Israel naked. He made molten images and a pagan god. Go ahead.
Moreover, he burnt incense in the valley of the son of Hinnom, and burnt his children in the fire.
Right, so this guy took his children and sacrificed his children to other gods. This is abortions. Okay, he took his children and burned them in fire in honor of this god Balaam. Go ahead.
After the abominations of the heathen,
After the ways of the heathen. Go ahead.
whom the Lord had cast out before the children of Israel.
Go ahead.
He sacrificed also and burnt incense in the high places, and on the hills, and under every green tree.
Right.
Wherefore the Lord his God delivered him into the hand of the king of Syria, and they smote him, and carried away a great multitude of them captives, and brought them to Damascus.
Syria. Go ahead.
And he was also delivered into the hand of the king of Israel, who smote them with a great slaughter. For Pekah, the son of Remaliah, slew in Judah 120,000 in one day, which were all valiant men, because they had forsaken the Lord God their father.
Because when the king went off, what happens? The people go off also. Now jump to verse 19. Watch this.
Verse 19. For the Lord brought Judah low because of Ahaz, king of Israel. For he made Judah naked.
He did what?
For he made Judah naked.
What that mean? Their clothes came off? No. He made them naked because their protection from God was removed by them serving other gods. He made Judah naked. Go ahead.
And transgressed sore against the Lord.
That's a transgression. So Adam and Eve did the same. Adam said to the Lord, yo, I'm naked. And the Lord said to Adam, how you know you're naked? What'd you do? Did you go against my commandment I gave you and worship other gods? That's what it's referring to in Genesis. It's going into idolatry. Eve and Adam begin to dabble in idolatry. That's the tree of good and evil. Because it's good because there's wisdom in it, but there's evil because it's the wisdom that the Lord didn't want Israel to deal with. So it's good and evil. Now, get me Genesis 3:16.
The book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 16.
So the Genesis 3 is a metaphor, but as you read further into the Old Testament, it gives you detail or explanation behind what it meant when it said they were naked and so forth. Genesis 3, in verse 16. And when it says earlier, I bypassed it. When it says they sowed fig leaves and so forth on themselves, it means they were hiding. They were doing it in secret. And when God came down, he caught them, and they were hiding among the people who they were learning from, that were there aside from Adam, further in the garden. Genesis 3 and verse 16, we're going to read to verse 19.
The book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception.
So as a result of you, of this act of yours, Eve, I will do what? Read again.
Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception.
I will multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. That's why I have menstrual, and that's why I have labor pains. Child labor, that's what that is. So when you tell me you have a child, bring a child into the world, that's God's reminder of what your mother did, Eve did, for going against Adam. But y'all don't believe, y'all don't listen. Y'all don't listen. Despite all of that stuff, y'all don't listen. Go ahead.
In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee.
And he shall what?
And he shall rule over thee.
And he shall rule over you. So read the verse, the bottom part again.
In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children.
Shall labor, go ahead.
And thy desire shall be to thy husband.
Your desire shall be to your husband. Go ahead.
And he shall rule over thee.
That was the original order anyway. But Satan caused what? The roles to be reversed. Go ahead.
Indeed. Sisters, you use this verse to say, no, that you see, that was implemented at that time.
Right.
You know, Most High, prior to that wasn't implemented. The Most High just introduced man having power over the woman and her desire being towards him. No, it's not the fact that the Most High just introduced that. He had to remind her of her role in a marriage. Right. He had to remind her of her position. Listen, your desire is to your husband and not to this man that you allow to deceive you. Your love and your authoritative figure is your husband, not this man. What Eve did was she stepped outside of the order of her marriage and her place.
Right. Exactly. That's exactly what happened. Give me
and things. Sorry, Deke. And things begin to fall apart. Once you play out of that order, things fall apart. It fell apart in the garden, and we're seeing the same thing today. Our women fall out that order God set for us. Nothing goes right.
Nothing goes right at all. Then y'all complain about men ain't no good, men ain't this, men ain't SH. Meanwhile, you keep making the same mistake over and over again. Baby father number 1, baby father number 2, baby father number 3. And say men ain't no good. No, your decisions ain't no good. Your decisions aren't no good. Not the men. The men ain't no good, and you keep picking them. So you can't blame the men for your bad decisions. Because at the end of the day, both the men and women, a lot of you sisters get involved with men who aren't even mature. They may have matured down there, but they're not mature up here. And that's one of the main issues behind a lot of single parenthoods, single parent households, picking irresponsible men in the house. They're responsible in the bedroom. They put it down, play it back out, and it's all good. Your eyes on the back of your head, you good. Then the baby's up in there. He's like, oh, that's nice. Baby, that's nice. Now you mad now. Now you're angry. You understand? So that's why the Bible constantly establishes marriage. The Bible talks about proving. Okay, the marriages were arranged back then. There was no running around and banging this and that. That wasn't biblical. That's something we learned. That's something new. Okay, this whole sleeping around stuff. That's some heathens. Nowhere in the Bible do you find Israel just looking around saying, "Who am I going to smash next?" That's a learned habit. That I can say is a learned habit. Okay, and now it has become reinforced. And many of us in this room, myself, who were raised in that thought of it's okay, just protect yourself and you're good to go. But that's not biblical. It's not right at all. And that only furthers the disease. That only furthers the neglect of children, the abortions. That only furthers it. Doesn't make it better. Where we at?
Verse 17.
Verse 17. Yeah, we're gonna be to verse 19.
Verse 17. And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake.
What he said, because thou hast hearkened unto thy wife. Because you listening to the woman. I'm going to do what? Read again.
And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it. Curse is the ground for thy sake. In sorrow thou shalt eat of it all the days of thy life.
Go ahead.
Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field.
Meaning you're gonna work hard now. How I made work easy for you when you were planting things. Now it's gonna be hard. Now you're gonna work hard. Go ahead. That's the 9 to 5 now. Go ahead.
In the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread, till thou return unto the ground. For out of it was thou taken, for dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return.
You're gonna die now, because Adam wasn't meant to die at all. He said, "But you're gonna die, and your woman too."
And thinking that's also prophetic too when it says, can you read that part again? Go back to that.
Yeah.
Verse 19. In the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread.
Go to the previous verse.
Verse 18. Thorns, you probably want 17.
Yeah.
And until Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it. Curse is the ground for thy sake. In sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life.
Mm-hmm.
Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field.
Keep going.
In the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread, till thou return unto the ground.
You know, prophetically, Adam's the father of all creation, all men. Mm-hmm. But you know that's prophetically speaking about Israel, because look at the ruling empires today. Esau doesn't work to the sweat of his brow. Esau doesn't do anything. Mm-hmm. Esau did not build up America. Esau, even when it comes to farming, they never sharecropped. They never picked the cotton. You know, even today, when you have the crops today, who's on the fields? Northern Kingdom. So that's also prophetically that Israel in the future will serve out the curses. Mm-hmm. Cursed shall thou be in the fields. Mm-hmm. So we'll be cursed to what? To pick the crops, the tobacco, the sugar cane, the banana, the cocoa,
the rubber,
the rubber. Everywhere you go, we are the working class. We are the workers. Mm-hmm. We are the
wage slaves.
The wage slaves of America. Because it's not talking about the other nations. Mm-mm. They hire us. They get us to do the production
manual labor,
work.
right?
Manual labor.
Mm-hmm. There was a Psalm 2, verse 23, 24.
And also that goes into you are gods and thou shalt die like men.
Yep, you should exactly. You're gods, you shall die like men. Yep. You told Adam the same thing. Yeah. Wisdom of Solomon 2:23.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 23. But God created man to be immortal.
So Adam's purpose was to be immortal. Go ahead.
And made him to be in an image of his own eternity.
So Adam, he said, dust thou art, dust you shall return. So Adam didn't live that out. Okay, go ahead.
Nevertheless, through envy of the devil.
Whose envy? Eve's. Satan introduced envy into Eve. You could be like Adam. Why come you're not like Adam? How come you're not like Adam? You could be like Adam too if you want. You won't die. Surely going against your husband. You won't die. That's what white men tell you today. Go against the black man, F the black man. You won't die. You don't need no black man. You independent. You on your own. You battle by yourself. It's the same thing.
I'll give you Section 8.
Yeah, so I'll give you Section 8. You don't need no black man. Welfare, Section 8, public assistance. WIC, what WIC stand for? Women, infants, and children. You don't need no man. I got you. F the black man. I'll give you the welfare. I'll give you the food stamps. I got you. EBT cards. I got you. There's no man in the house. More money for you. Go ahead.
Nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world.
So nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world. Go ahead.
And they that do hold of his side,
Satan's side, go ahead, do find it. They take hold of Satan on Satan's side. When you're on the devil's side, you're going to find death also. Go to chapter 14, verse 11. Chapter 14, verse 11.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 11. Therefore, even upon the idols of the Gentiles shall there be a visitation, because in the creature of God.
The creature means the creation of God. Go ahead.
They are become an abomination.
Idols. Go ahead.
And stumbling blocks to the souls of men, and a snare to the feet of the unwise.
Verse 12, watch this.
For the devising of idols.
For the devising of idols, watch this.
Was the beginning of spiritual fornication.
Was the beginning, the genesis of spiritual fornication. Go ahead.
And the invention of them, the corruption of life.
Brought death into the world. Same thing. So Solomon is revealing to us also that Adam and Eve got mixed up in idolatry. Eve got caught up in idolatry. What do you see women and a lot of sisters be involved in? Horoscopes. Mm-hmm. Ooh, what's your sign? I'm a Virgo. I'm a Sagittarius. I'm a Gemini. I'm Aquarius. You see mostly women involved in that nonsense. Men too. Men only fall because women fall behind it.
Right.
But the main ones you see pushing that, well, what's your sign? Oh, he a Scorpio? Oh, he must be a freak. You know, all the time. He a Virgo. Ooh, our signs attract. The main ones you see pushing that nonsense is our women. Women, not just black women, women in general. They be on that thing hard. And it be nonsense.
They check that thing every
Check it
day.
in the newspaper every other day. They're checking that thing.
And you know what that shows? That shows a lack of confidence in themselves.
Yeah.
Because you need a horoscope to tells you
What kind of person you are.
Yeah, what's going to happen to you. You're going to be lucky.
Right.
Whatsoever, you know.
And there's wisdom, and there's some wisdom in that zodiac stuff if you get deep into it.
Yeah.
That's
Witchcraft.
why that's witchcraft. That's why the Lord said good and evil, because there's wisdom behind it, but there's evil behind it also. Because to gain that wisdom, you must do certain things that's against nature to obtain it.
Absolutely.
The so-called white man is heavily delves deep into that stuff that Adam is involved in. All right? Give me Wisdom of Solomon, jump to verse 25. We're going to be to verse 27.
The Book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 25. So that there reigned in all men without exception blood.
So when it came to when idolatry set place into the world, what happened now? Read on.
So that there reigned in all men without exception blood, manslaughter,
Murder.
theft, and dissimulation, corruption, unfaithfulness.
Unfaithfulness. Going into what? Marriages being destroyed. Because a lot of the people we find in the Christian church, their marriages be chaos. There be all kind of scandals going on, pastor banging men's wives, or pastor banging men's husbands, whatever the case may be. There be all kind of nonsense going on in these churches. Catholic, you got child molestation going on. That's all idolatry. Go ahead.
Tumults, perjury, disquieting of good men, forgetfulness of good terms, defiling of souls,
Defiling of souls. Go ahead.
changing of kind.
Changing of kind. Mean man turns into a woman, woman turns into a man. Transgenderism. That's what's involved in idolatry. You'll find many of these so-called transgenders in the Christian church. They try to force the church to accept them, marry. I want to be married in the church. And they force the law. They push it where they make it where the law is changed to marry them in the church because they're Christian. It's the same nonsense. Changing of kind, sex change. Go ahead.
Disorder in marriages.
Disorder in marriages. Hey, well, today is called an entanglement. Disorder in marriages is an entanglement. Go ahead.
Adultery.
Adultery is an entanglement also. Go ahead.
And shameless uncleanness.
And shameless uncleanness. Go ahead.
For the worshiping of idols.
Here we go. He's going to say it again. For the worshiping of idols. Go ahead.
Not to be named.
Not to be named. Go ahead. Is what?
Is the beginning.
Is the beginning. Go ahead.
The cause.
Go ahead.
And the end of all evil.
See? It's the beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil. Evil began from the beginning of the Bible with idolatry. And it led to what? Disorder in marriage. How so? When Adam listened to the wife. That's disorder in marriage. So we're going to end on that. Take a quick commercial break for 5 minutes. We'll be back after this.
Yeah. Divine dialect. IUIC. It's the payback. Hey yo, a lot of stains on our name throughout the time that passed, but not a lot of grains left in that hourglass. We used to rock fellas, hit dames then dash. Now through the rock we built a nation, waiting on Jehovah's wrath. Reporting live from the 5 boroughs. We gon' burn them bogeys. This ain't a Newport or Marlboro. In our youth they called us nicotine when they the cancer. But they dead, I don't talk to them, ain't no necromancer. Like A-Rod, them Yankees are basemen. No cap, them Yankees gon' say why in the end, yeah. It's been a while since we seen Jerusalem, we miss our mother. Them nations jumped us, we coming back with our big brother. That'll more than even the odds. They try to bombard us with fraud, but in this spiritual war, you grip a sword and draw. To spare chili, put a hole in one of them birdies. We treat the eagle like a bogey when we up the paw, yeah.
The payback. Swag like Solomon with 12, you can see the picture. Victor, it's all rad when you read the scriptures. Edom, we cause the L, and death we bring. Like Yahushua, my line from the second king. Warfare in Liberty City or Gotham. Dudes never read in the hood, so they robbing. Police shooting bullets at brothers. Elite marksmen, no love. We Philly shells, Bernard Hopkins. I'm a black prophet sent from God. I'm the medium. If I was Edom and knew my fate, I'd do me in. In this white world, the black man's inaudible. No Russian vengeance, but I'm Roman in the oracle. Redemption, the second exodus with war cries. From the Red Sea, we crossed over Jordan like AI. On the corner selling mustard, live and direct. Or you can get the sword online on your IP address. This black man getting vengeance on Edom, it's a miracle. Whipping on their back is revenge at its pinnacle. In China, we can see the chinks in your armor. You've been cooking bats in Japan and ate dogs from the collar. But when my body changed, I have more abs than your name, for I'm in God's body. My lot is highly acclaimed. These nations be talking ish. Malice in their doctrine, either get down or lay down. For Israel is the only option. But we wrestle with the devil like Naphtali's meaning. Like when the devil fought for Moses' body, we steady scheming. Like a movie scene, I saw 12 teens with angelic beams. Killed Edom and blood splattered all over the screen. And they got beamed inside a chariot and saw Edomite scream. For this is not deja vu, for I lifted his dream. Israel.
Oh, that's right, y'all. This is the payback. Oh yeah, Esau, you know what's coming for you. You know what's coming for you, man. And listen, the payback.
It's the story that's ignited fierce passions across the nation as allegations of racism and miscarriage of justice tear apart a small Florida town. 3 weeks ago, Trayvon Martin, an unarmed black teenager, was shot down by a white neighborhood watchman who claimed self-defense and has not at this point been arrested. And it's caused a public outcry that spread like wildfire. ABC's Matt Gutman brings us the latest now from Sanford, Florida.
This is the face of 17-year-old Trayvon Martin, whose death has provoked weeks of demonstrations and massive internet petitions, and tonight, a rally in New York City.
Justice! Justice! Justice!
Let's get ready to rumble, a lion out the jungle. Slaves on their high horse now, I start to take a tumble. What you acting shy for now? You think just like your uncle. Time to Isaiah 14:21. You for to me and them. You stain his name, your blood gon' smith for them. We here for them, placing the blame upon your fear of them. That's dissonance, cause you never change but claim your innocence. It's sickening, can't wait to see your race go missing. What if I explored your continent like Dora? Swiped your land, gave you the boot and dared you to cross the border. Presented myself friendly just so I could get the clues to find your riches, then proceeded to give your nation the blues. Told little Bear's name is Stephen. He's not a man but a heathen, and he must be saved for that reason. Have you built up my empire like Bob used to do it? Take your life and your wife and sell little Nick Jr. You forget that, or would you want some get back? If your answer's the latter, then Black Lives Matter, and you need to sit back for the ride. And LGBTQ is not included. Hate to break your heart, kid, but this that sweet chin music. It's the payback.
The payback. Oh, that's right, y'all. This is the payback. Oh yeah, Esau, you know what's coming for you. You know what's coming for you, man. And listen, the payback. We even got about y'all other nations too, man. Y'all gonna get y'all too. I said the payback. Hit me.
Yo, hey, let me start by saying Esau is the damn devil. He gon' beat his swords into plowshares and several, for setting the blood of the elect. My radar, it detects your death coming from fire, flames, and heavy metal. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of
We're back. We are back. We're going to open up with 1 Timothy 2 and 13. Here's left from Wisdom of Solomon. Where this left from? Wisdom of Solomon 14, verse 27, where we went into Adam and Eve. The sin that entered into the garden through Eve's envy was idolatry. All right, so Paul's going to elaborate on that. Let's get 1 Timothy 2. We're going to read verse 13 to 14.
Dick, you wasn't going to show in that
Oh yeah. We mentioned earlier about the shameless uncleanness that idolatry introduces into the world, especially these Christian couples and celebrities. Give them a quick example of shameless uncleanness. Show them the picture real quick.
Also changing of kind.
Yeah, changing of kind. This is an example of shameless uncleanness. Changing of kind. Okay, this is their son. This is not a little girl. This is their son. All right. And you see the father in a skirt, the mother's in a skirt, and the son's in a God with heels on. High. This is madness, man.
Female pants.
Right, female pants. This is the example. This is the example right here. I'm talking about when it comes to confusion. These people, this couple in particular are being spearheaded or being used as the spearhead to push the homosexual agenda in the black community.
And Dick, that's our role model.
Right, he's a role model. Right, both of them.
Every young black kids wants to be like Dwayne Ray.
Right, on every actress is going to be like Gabrielle Union.
Right,
And Deke, we always take wickedness to the next level, to the extreme.
Yeah.
Get that, Timothy 2:13.
The book of 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 13. For Adam was first formed, then Eve.
Right, that's the order of things. Adam was first formed, then Eve. Go ahead, we read that earlier. Go ahead.
And Adam was not deceived.
Adam was not deceived because Adam knew better. Go ahead.
But the woman being deceived was in the transgression.
Because Satan convinced her to go against her husband and introduce idolatry to her husband. Go ahead. Reversing the roles. But now she's teaching him. Go ahead.
Verse 15. Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing.
Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing. Go ahead.
If they continue in faith.
If she continues in faith. Go ahead.
And
bringing forth children. Go ahead.
And charity.
And loving her neighbor as herself.
And holiness with sobriety.
And understands her role as the in the household under the man. Not a drug dealer or an abusive a-hole, but a righteous man. Not some loser, but a righteous man. I'll make that clear. I'm not saying be the tale of a man who's speaking to the loser and this ain't worth a damn. But that comes with repenting and your mind being changed, your thought process being changed. Because a lot of y'all complain about men, you ain't worth a damn yourself. So you got to be very mindful of these things. We are all, even myself, we are all a work in progress. And the relationship works and both of you are working on each other, working on yourselves together. That's what brings a marriage closer together. With all this pointing the finger, yo, it's him, no, it's you, it's me. No, Adam did the same thing. The woman you gave me, it was her. The Lord said, I don't give a damn who it was. You knew better. He got death. Regardless of Adam's excuses, he got death anyway, both of them. Let's get Sirach 25, verse 24.
And that being saved in childbearing is not going into the sister having babies and receiving salvation. No, that's going into the sisters staying in within her order in Genesis 3, verse 16. Because a lot of these sisters, even within Israel, believe that just because they're married to a man of the Lord, and just because they attend congregation, that they're gonna get the kingdom by calling the husband a BS, a band, yeah, a BA, you know what I'm talking about, a BA nigga. You think you're gonna get the husband by calling your husband a BA nigga? Oh, telling your husband he ain't SH, cursing him out, calling the police on him? No, you're not gonna get the kingdom. Look at Lot's wife. The same way. She was married to Lot, and during that time period, like I said, women were much more in order than they are now. And she didn't get the kingdom because what? Her mind wasn't like her Lord's mind. Right. That's the only way you're going to be able to get the kingdom. If your mind is like a man and a woman that agrees together.
That's a good point, because remember, Lot lived in Sodom and Gomorrah. And the angels told him, when we destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, do not look back. Don't look back. I'm going to destroy it. Keep your head straight. Don't look behind you. But Lot's wife was comfortable with that environment around her. Like you women today. This homosexual thing, oh, that's my gay friend. He's funny. Y'all are comfortable in the Sodom and Gomorrah atmosphere. Like Lot's wife. That's what Christ said in the New Testament. What did Christ say? Remember Lot's wife. Remember Lot's wife. He said that's one of the very, very short verse, but a very, very big meaning. He said, remember Lot's wife. She was an unbelieving soul. Okay? Because Lot was aggravated with all that stuff going on. But the woman, for some odd reason, when it comes to our women, man, they find comfortability with a man acting like them. Because that makes them feel powerful. He wants to be like me. He wants to be me. That's that envy back to Eve again. Yeah, he weak. He want to wear a dress. He wants to get breasts like me. He wants to get vagina like me. Yeah, I'm gonna teach him. I'm gonna guide him. Then he looks better than you with the surgery and steals your men. Now you look stupid now. Yeah. I've seen men it's bad. I've seen men with surgery looking better than better than women. It's true. You've seen it. You've seen it. And a lot of men fought. I'm saying a lot of men fought for it. They fought for that stuff.
Hey, bring up the pictures.
I'm do that. I'm not doing that. Brothers get spirits on them. But if you seen, I've seen pictures of women look like men with beards. These will look like straight dude, pretty boys. Look like, I'm like, how the hell that happened? They're all muscular, everything. Big, got bit all them hormonal pills. I've seen it. And you women, y'all talk about this old good men. Then you hang around homosexuals. They learn how to they hang around you, learn you. Then they go and get men. They shorten your options. Man doesn't know. You know the way the white man has it set up now, the surgeries and stuff. That thing. I'm telling you.
Thinking the crazy thing about it too is, all right, the woman's trying to be like the man and still trying to get the man.
You know what? I'm gonna give an example. Get that movie, Queen and Slim. Queen and Slim.
Oh no, don't do it.
Yeah, get Queen and Slim. I'm gonna give you an example.
Oh no. Don't do it to us. No,
Queen and Slim. I didn't know. I'm gonna give you an example of how I didn't know. I did not know this is a man. Get the Queen and Slim
You're
image.
about to mess up everybody's day today. They don't know
I'm
too.
Hey, I'm gonna give you an example. There's a video with Fat Joe called Lean Back. And there's a woman on a black, I think it was a black, what are those black cars? I forgot those cars on the popular cars back then. And it's
Cadillac.
I forgot what it was. Maybach, something like that, sitting on top of the car. And he's distanced from him. And that's a male. That's a male.
There was a big controversy about that when people started knowing that was a man.
Right, and then that man said, yo, y'all getting mad, but a lot of them girls you see them videos popping their ass up and down. Those are men, those are my friends. Those are my friends you like.
So those video vixens.
Yeah, there you go. Say that to him. Say that to him.
Dick, I say this to brothers all the time, especially single brothers, man. You don't know how lucky you are to be in this truth and being guided the right way. If not, you be in a club right now, you be a victim of rape. You think you get a dime piece.
Come here, nigga.
And the voice change.
Well, sometimes it don't change. Sometimes they got them pills, they boys get real light. You don't know who it is. You know who's who.
Good morning.
There you go.
Check that Adam's apple.
That right there. Click that one.
Oh, I can't even watch it.
Yeah.
Turn my eyes. Stay in the spirit.
India more.
Ugh. Y'all brothers keep playing around these clubs, man. Blow it up some. You never know.
What the hell?
That don't make no sense.
Yeah.
Go to the other one. She's next to Bokeem Woodbine. That other one, that Queen of Some image with her on his lap.
Hey, D, you can still see the jawline.
You see the jawline, but right there, go right there. That right there, yeah. Nah, some of y'all gonna say, I know that's a man, only because I'm telling you. Y'all gonna front and say, oh, yeah. You can't. There's some worse than this, but that's an example. That's an example of one. I've seen worse. I have seen far worse than this. And your women sit there and y'all advocate this nonsense, man. Y'all play around with this, changing of kind. That's all I want. Take that up the screen, man. That's all I want.
What? The black woman's like, how can I keep a man? The black gay man says, I know. I'm going to become you.
I'm going to become you. I'm
going to become more feminine than you are. I'm going to show you how to keep a man.
Right.
Yo, you see how things are twisted and backwards? The black woman's trying to figure out how to keep a man. And then the black man, in his logical sense, and his, gay logical sense.
Illogical
sense, says, you know what? I'm going to show you how to get a man. And not only that, they show the women how to walk, talk.
Right.
So
Miss J.
So you have a man. So, but I show you that men know the characteristics that a woman should possess. Because we know what we want in a woman. So a gay man, his mind at one point in time had that same type of,
So he knows.
He knew that, okay, this is how the woman's supposed to talk, how to walk. So a gay man does this. Oh, you know what? I'm gay now, so I'm gonna become what these women are not. I'm gonna take their men. That's what they do.
I'm gonna hang around women more to perfect it and then become a woman.
He hang around a white woman because I don't know.
Black women too. No, black women primarily. Brother.
Yeah.
Black women. They hang around black women.
Heavy in our community.
Heavily in our community. They hang around
black women in the islands. Yeah, not New York.
Read 24 again. 24.
Sirach chapter 25, verse 24. Of the woman came the beginning of sin.
Right. Go ahead.
And through her we all die.
She brought death into the world. Go ahead.
Give the water no passage.
Give the water no passage. I mean, you have to have your house in check. Go ahead.
Neither a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad.
Liberty to what?
Gad abroad.
You know what gad abroad means? Gad's an old term for talk too much. Gad abroad. That's you sitting down at a red table with your wife that she explains to you that she had an entanglement. That's your woman gadding abroad. When you have your woman telling you that your son feels since he was 3 years old he felt like a girl, that's you violating this verse right here, giving her no passage, a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad. That's gossiping, running her mouth, hanging around the wrong other women. That's giving her liberty to gad abroad. That further destroys the household when you do that. Okay? Now, let's get World Star Hip Hop Now. I want that video.
And also, Dick, there's a thing called swingers.
Right, swingers.
And there was a rumor that, what's his name? Will Smith and his wife.
Yeah, was swingers.
Was swingers.
They deny it, but I don't know. I'm not going to.
That was years ago.
That's the filth of the industry, man.
Yeah.
They all involved with that. You know what I mean?
Stuff, yeah.
Hollywood's this world within itself. Hollywood. There's certain rules and things they do among themselves. This is going into Egypt, modern Egypt. These are Greek Arabs or white Arabs, and they were on this thing called TikTok. You have like Instagram, you have TikTok videos where they dance. So these women of Egypt or Arabs in Egypt decide to fall behind the Americanized woman and watch what happens. This is the non-Western world. Watch this. Hit play.
Meanwhile, an Egyptian court has decided to jail 5 women social media influencers who that supposedly violated Egyptian model code. The 2 prominent TikTok stars and 3 others involved in managing their accounts have been given 2-year sentences. They've also been asked to pay
Look, they're wearing pants with head covers.
1,000 Egyptian pounds. That's the equivalent of about $18,000 each.
Pause. So they got charged with 5,000 pounds or $18,000 American to be bailed out for dancing on TikTok. Look how they're dressed. They're following America. They're following behind America, and they paying the price for it. They don't only in America where white folks are at, Europe or America, women can run around and do what they want to do and gad abroad. In the Far East, Middle East, they don't play that over there. They're not playing with you. That's why you black women, we don't want to go to on vacation. Let's go to Paris. Let's go to Spain.
Italy.
Let's go to Italy. Y'all don't want to go to Iran. Y'all don't want to go to Iraq.
Hell no.
Y'all know better. Don't go to Syria. No. Pakistan, you ain't going there because y'all know where to go.
They might not come back.
You may not come back. You wear them tight Spanish pants over there. Watch what happen to you.
Stoner.
It'll kill you. Beat the hell out of you and me and probably your man for letting it go on. Press play.
3-year-old Hanan Hossam was arrested in the month of April after she posted a video encouraging women to build friendships with men over TikTok. In her video, Hossam also told her followers that girls could actually earn money by working with her. Another influencer, Mawada
See what he says? Accused of moral. Moral code breach.
Yep, moral code. We have moral code breaches there.
Yep.
Go ahead, watch this. Look how they're dressed.
Saying what were described as indecent photographs. Now, these were some of the photographs that she's posted on social media. The 5 women face separate charges over the source of their funds, most of which presumably come from their work as influencers on social media. Now, Al-Adham's lawyer has confirmed that they will be filing an appeal against the verdict. Recently, the Egyptian
Stuff for me.
government has been...
But hear what the guy says? Indecent.
Indecent, yeah.
But they're covered.
Right, they're covered, but he's saying it's indecent.
Because of the pants.
Their figures are showing.
Yeah, what they're wearing.
That's normal wear over here.
Right.
Right, that's normal over here. Over there, it's indecent.
It's indecent, right?
Go ahead.
Cracking down on singers and dancers on social media.
That's a belly dancer right there.
Charged for posting videos that the government now deems to be suggestive and rather racy. Last month, an Egyptian court had sentenced a prominent belly dancer to 3 years in prison over charges of inciting debauchery.
Damn.
She got charged for inciting debauchery. It means promiscuity. Okay? Indecency, immorality. She got from 3 years in jail for inciting it. See, over here, that's cute. In America, among the white folk, y'all safe with that. Over there, they're not playing with you. Because these are Arabs. They follow Islamic law over there, which comes from the Bible. And the Bible calls that immoral also. Indecent also. Unlike over here, they enforce them laws over there. And when the kingdom is established, we're going to enforce those laws again.
That's right.
The dick. Those women.
Now you play. Now you're going to hit the thing, that's right. Now you put that's right. And then now you do it. Playing no damn bird sounds and all that. When I say something. Go ahead.
If this women come over here.
There you go. It's late, but there you
all
go.
Praises, brother.
All praises.
All praises.
You 1 point. Good job.
And if these women come over here, Dick, they'll be superstars. You know that, right?
Right, yeah.
They'll be mega stars. That's crazy.
Put the rest. Go ahead. It's almost over.
Was posted a dancing video on TikTok. The Egypt's loose definition of what constitutes a model code violation helps the government control social media activity. Any account with more than 5,000 followers can be and is monitored by the government.
Boom. See, they don't play with you. You got more than 5,000 followers, they're watching you. The government watches the people. Make sure they ain't putting nothing stupid on there on social media to spread that nonsense in the land.
And that's why Google as well as Facebook is looking to spread the internet all throughout this coast, all throughout the continent of Africa, as well as South Africa. You have Google as well as Facebook is doing that. Why? So you can break up the nucleus family. Because African, like say, even on those certain areas, don't have the American philosophy really instilled in them like that because of the lack of internet access and TV. But
America finds a way to seep her way into lands through financial, political means. They get their way in there. Internet, we give you internet. They somehow get their claws into the Orient. Right. They get into the old world. They get their hands into you somehow. Okay, we can't get them religiously, so we're gonna sanction them. We'll embargo to them, so that way they'll accept democracy. Because once you enter democracy, all of that comes in there. The pants, because the pants on it, that's all Americanized. There's real Muslims, they're not wearing no pants. So Egypt is slowly changing because there's pants on already with the head wrap. That's over here in America too. Muslim women walking around with the damn we call hijabs. I think it's called the hijab with the pants on. That's confusion. That's assimilation. They're trying to integrate the two together. So Egypt's like, okay, well you can have the pants on, but that belly dancing stuff, your ass going to jail.
Hey, Dick, how about with you? They got the third world countries that don't have no might as Egypt to monitor their people.
Right.
You know, there's countries that don't have that capability to say, okay, this is going to destroy our lives, our culture. They can't stop it. For example, in Haiti, the president just legalized gay marriage.
Wow.
A priest or a pastor will be jailed if they refuse to marry gay couples in Haiti right now.
Right. And homosexuals, they're not fighting for equality. You're fighting for speciality. Because you guys, that guy, like the brother said, white lesbian brother said, you guys are not fighting for equality. You guys are fighting for specialty. Because you changed the whole rule of marriage.
Right.
Y'all changed the laws of marriage.
He said only y'all can do that.
Only y'all can do that. Only y'all can change the laws of marriage. Only y'all can get a man attacked for using words. That's not equality. That's specialty. That's special privilege. That's not equality. You go to jail in Haiti for not marrying a gay couple, but the Bible that the pastor uses is against it. So you're forcing him by law to marry you against his own moral code. You know how crazy that is? That's insane. That's not equality, that's supremacy. Now,
so you killed somebody, you kill your morality for somebody else's morality.
Right, exactly. But somebody else's immorality. 1 Corinthians 14:33. Regarding shameless uncleanness and what we saw just now. 1 Corinthians 14, 33 to 34.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 14, verse 33. For God is not the author of confusion.
God is not the author of confusion. But we're seeing it. Who is the author of confusion? America is. Edom. The Edomites are. Go ahead.
But of peace, as in all churches of the saints.
Verse 34. Watch this.
Let your women keep silence in the churches.
Because remember, the churches that Paul was over was in Asia Minor. One of the major gods or goddesses of Asia Minor was Diana of the Ephesians, which goes back to the Queen of Heaven in Egypt in Jeremiah 44, Ashtoreth. And when you worship that goddess, that put women in a particular position of authority over the men, dominance over the men. That's where you get the term diva from, boss bitch from, okay? Thug chick, hot girl summer. That's all that comes from, that vibration comes from that, worshiping those gods. That's where it comes from. But God is not the author of confusion. That is confusion. Go ahead.
For it is not permitted unto them to speak.
I mean, to teach or usurp authority over the men. Because women can teach. Their job is to guide the house and guide the children. They are to teach, but not teach the men. They're to be taught by the men, and then it goes down to the children. They teach the children what the man taught them. That's the natural order of things. There's no equality. Equality is an illusion. There's no such thing as equality. Someone has to rule. Someone has to serve. There's nowhere in the world you can think of today or any other time where women had men in subjection in every spectrum. Militarily, physically, that's never took place on the earth. Never. Ever. It's fairy tale. It's cartoons. Go ahead.
But they are commanded to be under obedience, as also saith the law.
As also saith what law? Genesis 3:16.
Yep.
Your man shall rule over you.
And Dick, if I may, can I prove that you just said it? There's no ever equality.
Yeah.
It says creation, Genesis 1:26. I'm sneaking that in. Dick, I don't have that one. Oh, prison.
I don't have that one.
Oh, prison. So almost.
Think outside the
It
box.
got one in.
Oh man.
Yeah, read that.
The book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 26. And God said, let us make man in our image.
See that? Man was made in God's image. Go ahead.
After our likeness. And let them have dominion over the fish of the sea.
Let them have dominion. There's not no equality. The man that God created. Let them have dominion over the fish. Go ahead.
And over the fowl of the air. And over the cattle. And over all the earth. And over
what?
And over all the earth.
Over all the earth and everything that's on the earth, including sisters. This is not women bashing. This is how the Lord created. That's the God's order. And, go ahead.
And over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth.
So there you go, right there.
And that's for all men. That's not referring to just black men. That's all men, period.
Yep.
Have dominion over the fish of the sea, because there's men all over the earth. God gave man dominion. And that includes over their women too. And that's still, but the white man has given a false sense of authority to the woman and equality. It's not real. It's a lie. I'm going to show y'all.
Because he had gods. He had God. Yeah, that's it.
Revelation 12, verse 3. Revelation 12, verse 3.
The book of Revelations, chapter 12, verse 3. And there appeared another wonder in heaven. And behold, a great red dragon.
The great red dragon is a so-called white man today, the European race today, Caucasian race today, or translating to America. Go ahead.
Having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head.
America being an extension of these 7 heads and 10 horns. That's verse 3. Read verse 4.
And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven.
The third part of the stars of heaven is referring to the children of Israel, us. Go ahead.
And did cast them to the earth.
Put us in captivity. Go ahead.
And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born.
Tried to kill Christ before he was born. Now jump to verse 9. So that's going into Herod. Jump to verse 9 now.
Verse 9. And the great dragon was cast out.
That same great red dragon was cast out. This is going into him being defeated or overthrown eventually. Go ahead.
That old serpent.
What's he called?
That old serpent.
The same spirit that was in the Garden of Eden with Adam and Eve that deceived the woman is alive today and is here today in America. The so-called white man today is pushing the same agenda that his spirit pushed in the garden. It's the same spirit on earth again today. Read again.
And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent.
But the Bible calls the great red dragon, which America extends from, that old serpent, the same seductive, seducing spirit, subtle spirit that was in the garden, deceiving the black woman in the garden, deceives them even till now in America. Whether it be Europe, whether it be America, anywhere you find Europeans, primarily Europeans, the black woman is deceived into believing she has power over men or equal to men. Nowhere else do you find that. In Egypt, you don't find that. China, you don't find that. Arabia, you don't find that. Iraq, you don't find that. If you do find it, they get put to death. Go ahead.
Called the devil.
Called what?
The devil.
Meaning the deceiver. Go ahead.
And Satan.
Meaning the adversary. Whatever God says to do, he is adverse. Whatever order God sets up, he is adverse to it. Man should be with woman. No, man should be with man. Woman should be with man. No, woman should be with woman. That's adverse. The adversary. Adverse. Go ahead. Satan. Go ahead.
Which deceiveth the whole world.
Into believing what? Christianity, feminism, emasculation, role reversal, white Jesus, false gospel. That's deceiving the whole world. Her policies, her politics, her fashion creeps in. That's also deception of the whole world. Go ahead.
He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
His allies lost with him. When the Lord returns, it's going to be a war, and the devil is going to lose. Now, let's get Malcolm X real quick. Now, okay. The soundboard's nervous over there. That's all right. We're going to be all right. They're going to be all right. Give me the Malcolm X video, YouTube. We're gonna stop it at 135.
I think we need to have this controlled by us.
Yeah, ourselves, right? Yeah. Malcolm X.
They said we do it, we get yelled at. We don't do it, we get yelled at. He said, I don't know what to do.
You can't win. What do I do?
We're gonna stop it. We're gonna stop at 135.
Is Abiel over there?
Oh man, Abiel's over there too. He's here in the spirit. This is Malcolm X, an old interview with Malcolm X with another brother. Okay, we're gonna stop at 135. Watch what he says.
Well, number one, he teaches us that that never was a real serpent. It was not a real serpent that went into the garden. What was it? But as you know, the Bible is written in symbols and parables, and this serpent or snake is a symbol that's used to hide the real identity of the one whom that actually was.
Pause it. So he's telling you that the serpent in the garden was not an actual snake, but the Bible is written in a metaphor to hide who the serpent in the garden really was. He's going to show you who the serpent in the garden actually was. Even he knew this. Continue.
The white man.
We go back. Rewind it.
Go to the beginning.
Go to the very beginning. Stop. Go ahead.
Now, what does he mean there? Well, number one, he teaches us that that never was a real serpent. It was not a real serpent that went into the garden. What was it? But as you know, the Bible is written in symbols and parables, and this serpent or snake is a symbol that's used to hide the real identity of the one whom that actually was. But who was it? The white man.
Damn. This is the white man.
He said the serpent was the white man. The spirit of the white man was in the garden, and that same spirit was on the earth today in physical form as the white man. Malcolm was on a high level. Now, remember, the Israelites taught him. That's why they're not teaching this now, because he learned from the Israelites first. Okay, prior to coming to Islam, so this understanding of the Bible was brought to him by Israelites first and foremost, and then, of course, Islam added on to it. But he's telling you metaphorically, the snake in the garden was not really a snake that you see in cartoons. It was a spirit of the so-called white man who is now physically on earth. Continue.
This your standard teaching? Yes. He teaches us that the black man by nature is divine.
Pause. So they're taught that the black man by nature is divine. That's true. We are gods, but we die like men because of our sins. Continue.
Now, does this mean that the white man by nature is evil? By nature, he is other than divine.
Pause. He said by nature, the white man is other than divine. Go ahead.
Well, now, does this mean that he's evil? Can he do good? By nature, he is evil. He cannot do good. History is thus qualified to reward all research, and we don't have any historic example where we have found that they collectively, as a people, have done good. Do you teach them what you just said to me, that the white man is the symbol of evil? You can go to any little Muslim child and ask him where is hell or who is the devil, and he wouldn't tell you that hell is down in the ground or that the devil is something invisible that you can't see. He'll tell you hell is right where he has been catching it, and he'll tell you who the one who is responsible for him having received this hell is the devil. And he would say that this devil is the white man. Yes.
Pause. So Malcolm understood that the white man is in fact the devil, and it's not out of racism. It's not based upon how he looks or our personal hatred for him. But Malcolm, as I express as well as the Bible expresses, is based upon his actions. There's devils in every race, but there is a superior race of devils that dominate all the other devils on the earth, that give us black and brown people hell every day. Hell is not underground somewhere. It's on earth. Okay? That's what he's saying, and that's what the Bible says. So he's on point with that one. But he's making it clear that old serpent in the garden that deceived the woman back then is alive and well on earth today, deceiving her again.
Bring it out.
All
and
right?
the greatest trick was Esau did it secretly behind the woman's back. So now, when she receives benefits, Section 8, welfare, clothing, food, support for her child, she looks at the white man as her savior, as her great help, not knowing that the serpent, all the way back during the time of Eve, as well as the serpent during the 20th century, has done the same thing, which is destroyed the black nucleus family. Right. And that's the greatest trick. That is the greatest power of the serpent, is to keep the black man and black woman together.
Divided.
I'm sorry. Divided.
Right.
And if you look at it, for example, anytime we was doing good historically, during the time of Adam, Adam was prospering. He had a garden. Everything was going well. He had his wife under subjection. What the serpent says? No. He can't be doing good. No. He's over me right now. No. He can't have power over me. What I do? Let me break up the black nucleus family. Just like when we go during the time of the 1920s. You have Tulsa, Oklahoma. You have Chicago. You have D.C. You have Central Park in Manhattan.
Detroit,
Florida. Atlanta. These were great, thriving black Wall Streets. We have black entrepreneurs. We have black churches. We have black economics. At that time, black businesses or black communities were thriving beyond belief. And we have wealth. We acquired wealth, even in Black Wall Street, where the money circulated over 300 something towns?
Yeah.
Before it went out to the other community. What happened? The serpent had to come. He had to conquer and divide, destroy. Anytime we're doing good, they get the envy of them comes in and say, you know what? Let's destroy what they have. And what do they implement afterwards? Let's conquer and divide the black nucleus family. Historically speaking, it's the same devil doing the same thing.
They just don't want that unity. The black unity is detrimental to them.
Yep, that's what he said. J. Hoover said the most dangerous thing is black unity. He didn't say black guns, he said black unity. That's the worst, most dangerous thing ever to be established. Now, of course, COINTELPRO has been dismantled, or rather revised, under Operation Iron Fist. Okay, we know about you, but it's okay. You do your worst, and God will do His worst. Wikipedia, women's suffrage movement. And for those of you simple asinine people on the comment board about making comments about me using Wikipedia, when you do a radio show, you use your sources. I'm gonna use mine. All right. In the meantime, shut the hell up and just be an audience like it's supposed to be.
That's right.
And just take notes.
Oh, gosh.
We're gonna stop at We're going to stop at women's Christian. We're going to stop at movement. Let's just read from the top. We got to go a little fast now for lack of time. This will be a part 2 to this. Go ahead. I got 20 minutes. All right, perfect. Go ahead. You better keep that thing there so I can keep track of it. Go ahead. Go ahead. Women's suffrage. Go ahead. Who's going to read? Cap Jarrell. Well, Cap, where you at, man?
Okay. I forgot. I've been shoot.
Yeah, perfect timing. Perfect timing. Please read for us. Thank you, Cap.
All of you.
We appreciate you. Thank you, Cap. We appreciate you. Go ahead.
Women's suffrage in the United States. Women's suffrage in the United States of America, the legal right of women to vote, was established over the course of more than a half a century. First in various states and localities, sometimes on a limited basis, and then nationality in 1920. Nationally in 1920.
It started in Europe. Go ahead.
The demand for women's suffrage began to gather strength in the 1840s, emerging from the broader movement for women's rights.
So we'll go in the 1940s. Go ahead.
In 1848, the Seneca Falls Convention, the first women's rights convention, passed a resolution in favor of women's suffrage despite opposition from some of its organizers.
Right, 1840s is when it started. Go ahead.
Who believed the idea was too extreme. By the time of the National Women's Rights Convention in 1850, however, suffrage was becoming an increasingly important aspect of the movement's activities. The first national suffrage organizations were established in 1869, when two competing organizations were formed, one led by Susan B. Anthony and Elizabeth Cady Stanton.
Elizabeth Cady Stanton, go ahead. So you got Susan B. Anthony, Elizabeth Cady Stanton, go ahead.
And the other by Lucy Stone.
And that's the third. These are the foremothers of feminism, and Lucy Stone. And the fourth would be Amelia Bloomer. Go ahead.
After years of rivalry, they merged in 1890 as the National American Women's Suffrage Association, NAWSA, with Anthony as its leading force. The Women's Christian Temperance Union.
The Women's what?
Christian Temperance Union.
The Women's Christian Temperance Union, WCTU, is involved in the feminist movement. Christianity and feminism go hand in hand. That's why in the Christian church, you be seeing women dominating the men. Who do you see dragging these kids to the church? Grandmas and mothers. But there's no man present. And they worship in a white Jesus. Go ahead.
Which was the largest women's organization at the time. Was established in 1873 and also pursued women's suffrage, giving a huge boost to the movement.
Giving a huge boost. That's what I wanted. Now let's go click on where's it at? Let's go to feminist movement now. Wikipedia, feminist movement. We're gonna read the first and second paragraph. Hurry up, come on.
Feminist movement. The feminist movement, also known as the women's movement, or simply feminism.
Oh, simply what?
Feminism.
Feminism, go ahead.
Refers to a series of political campaigns for reforms on issues such as reproductive rights.
Reproductive rights goes into the abortions. That eventually, because at first it was going into them mutilating the genitals and so forth of our women, which is understandable. But then over time, it mutated into you can abort your child, kill your children. It turned into that. And they pushed that agenda into the black and brown women. Because white women were running around killing their babies like that. They pushed that agenda into the black woman. Go ahead.
Domestic violence.
See, so it had its pros and cons, but over time, it mutated into the homosexual agenda. Watch this. Go ahead.
Maternity leave.
So maternity leave came from this. Go ahead.
Equal pay.
Equal pay.
Women's suffrage. Sexual harassment. And sexual violence. All of which fall under the label of feminism and the feminist movement. The movement's priorities vary among nations and communities. It ranged from opposition to female genital mutilation in one country to opposition to the glass ceiling in another.
So it varies in different areas. Go ahead, in different countries. Go ahead.
Feminism in parts of the Western world has gone through three waves.
Goes through what?
3 waves.
3 waves of feminism. Went through 3 waves. Go ahead.
First wave feminism was oriented around the station of middle or upper class white women.
That's who started it. Middle or upper class white women who complained about their men marginalizing them or making them wear like the dresses, them big dresses. They wore loads upon, because these white men were Christianity fanatics. And they want the women to dress all dressed down. Wherever they worked at, wherever they were, they had to dress down. So the white women felt like they were being burdened or enslaved by their upper class, rich white husbands that owned slaves. So they felt like they were slaves to their husbands. And they used that emotional agenda to push it into the ears of black women to go, see, we're slaves like you. We're fighting for the same rights. And they merged their complaints and their slaves into one issue, one mission, like BLM does today.
Right. So
same exact thing.
Right.
Using the same thing. Well, I'm gonna show you. Go ahead, keep going.
First wave feminism was oriented around the station of middle class or upper class white women and involved suffrage and political equality. Second wave feminism attempted to further combat social and cultural inequalities. Although the first wave of feminism involved mainly middle class white women.
Involved mainly who?
Middle class white women.
That's who it was made by. Go ahead.
The second wave brought in women of color.
Why? For numbers. to gain numbers because they would write petitions. They needed more of a to make them more population, a larger population. They needed to use the black woman as what? As numbers to further push their petition to the white man to push for equality, not for the black woman, but for themselves. Then they deceive you, black women, into believing that movement was for you. Meanwhile, their husbands run your men. Your husbands are sharecropping. Your husbands have no human rights at all during this time.
Right.
They were considered human during this time. But you fighting, but they use the colored women, like Harriet Tubman, for example. They used her and many other black women, unsuspecting black women, to push their agenda of equality with their white men. And they're doing it again today.
The feminist movement also preyed on the Stockholm syndrome that our women was facing.
Yep.
Because in our oppression, they was always thriving for that equality with the heathen.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to be like the white women. They wanted to straighten their hair. So they figure if I jump in this cause,
I'll be equal.
Exactly.
Right. Mm-hmm. And it helped the black man. Go ahead.
Second wave feminism attempted to further combat social and cultural inequalities. Although the first wave of feminism involved mainly middle-class white women, the second wave brought in women of color and women from other developing nations that were seeking solidarity.
Go ahead.
Third wave feminism is continuing to address the financial, social, and cultural inequalities, includes renewed campaigning for greater influence of women in politics and the media.
In the media, watch this.
And the crazy thing is, how could the black woman join a movement for gender equality when a black man didn't have gender equality?
Right.
He didn't have equality amongst the white man.
See that little logo right there? We can do it. We can do it too. That's the little mascot there. Go ahead.
So the black woman left. The black man says, "You know what? Because you can't get equality, I'm gonna go join the other side
and get
equality myself."
Selfishness.
Right. Crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. In where am I? The fourth wave now? Fourth wave feminism examines the interlocking systems of power that contribute to the stratification of traditionally marginalized groups.
Click that, please. It's the fourth wave. Watch it. Click marginalized groups. No.
Go down.
Click marginalized groups. You click that. Yep. Who does that pertain to? The fourth wave. Read the first paragraph. Come on. The first paragraph.
Social exclusion, marginalization, or social marginalization, and is the social disadvantage and a relegation to the fringe of society. It is a term used widely in Europe and was first used in France. It is used across disciplines including
Go up. It's not a one. I want all that stuff. Go up. It mentions LGBT.
Go slowly.
Go slow. Go, no, not that far. It's on the top.
Go slowly.
Right there. Read that, sir. Right there. Read it right there. Right there.
Okay, right where it says such exclusionary.
Yes. Well, read the top. Let's say on top.
Alienation.
Yeah.
Alienation or disenfranchisement and resulting from social exclusion.
Right. It said marginalized groups. These are socially excluded groups. This is the fourth wave of feminism is fighting against socially marginalized groups. So it's going to explain to you these marginalized groups that the feminism defends now. Watch.
Resulting from social exclusion can be connected to a person's social class, race, skin color, religious affiliation, ethnic origin, educational status, childhood relationships, living standards, and or political opinions and appearance.
Come on.
Such exclusionary forms of discrimination may also apply to people with a disability, minorities, LGBTQ people, drug users, institutional care leavers.
So, go ahead.
The elderly and the young.
So all that's fluff. That's the main one is LGBTQ.
Right.
The fourth wave of feminism is supporting that. Plus goes into pedophiles.
That's what I was about to say.
Plus goes into bestiality.
What the hell plus mean?
Plus means plus goes into all that. Pederasty.
Right.
Pedophile. That's going into that next. Y'all opening Pandora's box. This gay stuff. Opening Pandora's box.
So they say
you ain't seen nothing yet. I'm glad. I'm sorry. Yeah.
They say more is coming.
Right. Plus means there's more to come. Plus means to be continued.
They're saying that we haven't thought of all the evil in our mind yet.
We got more. We got more.
We got more stuff that we're going to bring out. You haven't seen nothing yet.
Well, you ain't seen nothing. Love is love, right? Yeah, love is love. I love animals.
Next year, I'm going to marry a dog, damn it.
Next year, I'm going to marry a pigeon.
Oh, shit. Oh, damn, D.
Marry a pigeon next year.
Damn, D. What, a pigeon? What the hell are you going to do for a pigeon?
That means she loves me. She said, you know what she said?
Oh, damn.
Crazy ass people. Go to
is the pigeon metaphorical for a tribe?
No, it's not. Oh God! How do you go to that? How to go to that? God, wow, man. Go to history, please. Go to history, please. I don't know how I translate to that.
I'm sorry.
Go to history. I'm not talking about them.
I'm sorry.
Oh gosh, this guy, man. Go to history. Go down to history in the same link. No. You know what? Go back to feminist movement. Go back to feminist movement. Go to history.
At least I didn't say anything about Levi today.
Oh man. Okay. Go to history. Go to history. Feminist movement. History section. We're gonna stop at platforms. History. Yeah, right there. Click that. It should take you there, right? Okay. Stop at platforms. Go ahead.
Feminist.
Come on
now. Feminist movement in Western society. Feminism in the United States, Canada, and a number of countries in Western Europe has been divided into 3 waves by feminist scholars. First, second, and third wave feminism. Recent early 2010s research suggests there may be a fourth wave characterized in part by new media platforms.
Black Lives Matter. New media platforms. They got the BLM all written in the streets now. It's everywhere, all over the social media. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. It's political agenda. That is suggests the fourth wave. We're in the fourth wave. We are in the fourth wave of feminism, pushing the role reversal, transgenderism, homosexuality, bestiality, pedophilia. All that is all in the fourth wave.
The fourth wave was LGBTQ
plus
the continuation.
Right, and ageism. Okay, and destroying the black family, removing the father out the household, black fathers especially. Go to Susan B. Anthony now.
So Most High set the things up for us to clearly see. Like when he says we are the salt of the earth, even the wickedness that Esau does, they still need to use us.
Yep.
And everything they do, they need to use us.
Yep, everything.
Success, evil, oppression, they're still using us.
Still using us. Even in death, they use us.
Yep.
Because the whole BLM is George Floyd was a Trojan horse to push the LGBTQ plus agenda in the black and brown community. They don't give a damn about George Floyd. Because black folks telling black folks all throughout Detroit recently, all throughout Chicago recently, all throughout Atlanta recently, and BLM was nowhere to be found. Yep. Y'all are full of SH. Susan B. Anthony, please. Susan B. Anthony, Wikipedia. We're going to end at close friends. Susan B. Anthony. Look for Susan B. Anthony. We're going to stop at close friends. We're a little faster. We got a few minutes left.
Yes, sir. Susan B. Anthony, February 15th, 1820, March 8th, 13th, 1906, was an American social reformer and women's rights activist who played a pivotal role in the women's suffrage movement. Born in a Quaker family committed to social equality, she collected anti-slavery petitions.
She did what?
She collected anti-slavery petitions.
Stop. She collected anti-slavery petitions. That's them taking black situations and merging it into their own feminism. That's where it started from. That's why it's added colored women later on. They're using black people situations to say, see, we're slaves too. Let's make our agendas one. Because she's a middle-class white woman or upper-class white woman fighting for equality with their man, and we won't even consider men at all during this time. So they're using the black agenda to push feminism. It's nothing new. It's been done before. Go ahead. Come on.
Anti-slavery petitions at the age of 17. In 1856, she became the New York State agent for the American Anti-Slavery Society.
See, connect themselves to black situation. Now, some of y'all may say, well, maybe she was really an advocate for freeing slaves. Whether she was or not, it's irrelevant because at the end of the day, they used a situation that was two separate situations. She's an upper class, middle class white woman fighting for equality with her man, and she wasn't, and then meanwhile at the same time, they're adding black women as numbers to push their own agenda. It's the same thing. Don't fall for the nonsense. You got to read between the lines.
What Susan B. Anthony did back then by incorporating black women to the women's suffrage movement is what Gloria Steinem did in the 1960s. She did the same thing.
Miss Magazine. Yep.
Well, she posed as a journalist, but underhandedly, she was a CIA operative that was meant to infiltrate the black civil rights movement during the 1960s to break up the black nucleus family and then further the white agenda to further destroy the black agenda.
Then she lied and said she learned feminism from black women.
Yeah, exactly.
The whole mouth.
Get the hell out of here.
Go ahead.
All right. So in 1851, she met Elizabeth Cady Stanton, who became her lifelong friend and co-worker in social reform activities, primarily in the field of women's rights. In 1852, they founded a New York Women's State Temperance Society after Anthony was prevented from speaking at a temperance conference because she was female.
Right, Christian temperance conference. A Christian temperance thing. Go ahead, because she was female. Go ahead.
In 1863, they founded the Women's Loyal National League.
1863, we were still slaves. Go ahead.
Which conducted the largest petition drive in United States history up to that time, collecting nearly 400,000 signatures in support of the abolition of slavery.
See? Trying to include the both, mixing them together. Go ahead.
In 1866, they initiated the American Equal Rights Association, which campaigned for equal rights for both women and African Americans. In 1868, they began publishing a women's rights newspaper called The Revolution. In 1869, they founded the National Women's Suffrage Association as a part of the split in the women's movement. In 1890, the split was formally healed when the organization merged with the rival American Women's Suffrage Association to form the National American Women's Suffrage Association, with Anthony as its key force. In 1876, Anthony Stanton began working with the Matilda Jocelyn Cage on what eventually grew into the 6th volume, History of Women's Suffrage. The interests of Anthony and Stanton diverged somewhat in later years, but the two remained close friends.
Jump down. This is when she. It's going to say when she. Go down, when she, right there. We're going to end at a dollar coin.
When she first began campaigning for women's rights, Anthony was harshly ridiculed and accused of trying to destroy the institution of marriage.
Trying to do what?
Destroy the institution of marriage.
See? The white man caught on to what she was doing.
Wow. Damn.
The white man caught on to what she was doing. Read on. Go ahead.
Public perception of her changed radically during her lifetime.
Because they started gaining more power over time. World War I took place. World War II took place. Go ahead.
However, her 80th birthday was celebrated in the White House at the invitation of President William McKinley. She became the first female citizen to be depicted on U.S. coinage when her portrait appeared on a 1979 dollar coin.
Click that coin, please. What's that coin symbolize? Click the coin. Click the coin. Come on. Click it. Click it. We can all see it. Okay, that's the front of the coin. Get this at the back of the coin. Click that. So I want you to blow up the other side. So that's Susan B. Anthony's face there. But look on the other side of the coin. You see the Earth in the background and the eagle on the moon. 1979 issued coin, symbolizing them arriving on the moon. The symbol of rebellion. Women rebelling against the man, and Esau rebelling against God.
Damn.
Got the eagle on the moon and the earth in the background. 1979 coin.
Two prophecies being implemented.
Then they were saying, well, this coin's too close to the quarter, so let's get rid of it. It got discontinued because apparently it was too close to looking like a quarter. So, but the reason why is because the truth started to spread around this same year.
Right.
It said, get rid of that coin.
Right.
Because that coin symbolizes what? Obadiah chapter 1.
Right.
And Deacon, Obadiah chapter 1 and Jeremiah chapter 31.
And Jeremiah 31.
31:22, I believe.
Right. And Jeremiah 49.
And woman shall surpass a man.
Right. Woman shall surpass a man. Yep. Jeremiah 31:22.
So the coin is showing two prophetic events occurring at the same time.
Yep.
Isaiah 3:12.
Yeah, Isaiah 3:12 also. Yep. So let's go to the biography. Go back to her again. We're gonna stop at her. We're gonna stop at was early social activism. Go down to her biography. Go down. Get out of this. Go back. Go to Susan B. Anthony again. Okay, go down to her biography. Click biography right there. Go back up. Click biography right down top. Click that. We're gonna stop at her husband, own husband. It should say early social activism.
Susan Anthony.
No, it should say early social activism over. Go down.
I gotta look for it.
They gotta look for it. Scroll down. Early social activism. Come on. It's in bold letters over it. This is a lot. I'm cutting through it.
Right there.
Right there. Stop there. We're gonna stop at own husband.
Early social activism. Anthony embarked on her career of social reform with energy and determination. Schooling herself in reform issues, she found herself drawn to the more radical ideas of people like William Lloyd Garrison, George Thompson, and Elizabeth Cady Stanton.
Go ahead.
Soon she was wearing the controversial bloomer dress.
She was wearing what?
The controversial bloomer dress.
Soon she was wearing the controversial bloomer dress. That's Amelia Bloomer. She made female pants. She wore that to symbolize the equality with men. She wore the controversial bloomer dress. Go ahead, watch this.
Consisting of pantaloons.
Consisting of pantaloons. Go ahead.
Pantalones.
Pantaloon, go ahead.
Worn under a knee-length dress.
Worn under a knee length. She wore pants under the dress, symbolizing role reversal of the man and woman. See that? Go ahead.
Although she felt it was more sensible than the traditional heavy dresses that dragged the ground.
Their men made them wear that based upon Christianity tradition. Go ahead.
She reluctantly quit wearing it after a year because it gave her opponents the opportunity to focus on her apparel rather than her ideas.
By her being, they didn't care what she was saying because she was dressed out of order. They don't want to hear what she was saying. You wearing pants. We don't listen to you.
You got a damn thing to say.
Go ahead.
Partnership with Elizabeth Cady Stanton. In 1851, Anthony was introduced to Elizabeth Cady Stanton, who had been one of the organizers of the Seneca Falls Convention and had introduced a controversial resolution in support.
No, you skipped up. Go back. You go too fast. Go back. This is her class. Go back up. I don't want all of that. No, go back up. You skipped. Go back up. Go back up. It says her this dragged to the ground. Is that it? I'm sorry. Keep going. I meant it's her husband. I'm sorry. Keep going.
I don't know why. Wait, where?
Cady Stanton, you stop there. I thought I missed it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Slow down.
Yes. Keep going. Okay. I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention. Keep going.
In 1851, Anthony was introduced to Elizabeth Cady Stanton, who had been one of the organizers of the Seneca Falls Convention and had introduced the controversial resolution in support of women's suffrage. Anthony and Stanton were introduced by Amelia Bloomer.
There you go. Amelia Bloomer introduced them. These are the foremothers of feminism. Amelia Bloomer, Lucy Stone, Cady Stanton, and Susan B. Anthony. Go ahead.
A feminist and a mutual acquaintance who had not signed the Declaration of Sentiments and subsequent resolution despite her attendance at the Seneca Falls Convention. Anthony and Stanton soon became close friends and workers, forming a relationship that was pivotal for them and for the women's movement as a whole.
Go ahead, watch this.
After the Stantons moved from Seneca Falls to New York City in 1861, a room was set aside for Anthony in every house they lived in. One of Stanton's biographers estimated that over her lifetime, Stanton spent more time with Anthony than with any other adult, including her own husband.
Spent more time with that woman than her own husband. You do the math. I'll leave you alone. Leave that alone. I know what that sounds like. That translates into after a while.
And one point I want to bring out during, like I said, the first wave of feminism, you see that Amelia Bloomberg introduced Bloomberg pants.
Bloomers, right? Bloomers.
The bloomers, which are pantaloons. The second wave of feminism commercialized pants on the scene in the 1960s. That's when it actually
I Love Lucy and all that stuff. I Love Lucy, things like that.
So it's showing you that Esau implements things in waves. First wave, okay, I'm going to introduce the idea. Now, it wasn't that. Now, the men didn't take that. They said they didn't accept that. But it was just, like I said, to desensitize us. They introduced things in waves. I'm going to put a little bit here. All right, pull back a little bit. Like they use the concept, flex a little bit. And in the 1960s, all right, now we're going to commercialize it. That feminism is gaining strength. You got the black woman now. Now we could further push it.
It's a programming.
Yeah, that's the 1-on-1. You ain't got much time. We ain't gonna finish this, but we're gonna just get what we can. That's the 1-on-1.
The book of Esther, chapter 1, verse 1. Now it came to pass in the days of Ahasuerus. This is Ahasuerus, which reigned from India even unto Ethiopia.
This is the man you read about known as the movie 300. His name is Xerxes. King Xerxes of the Persian Empire. Go ahead.
Over 107 and 20 provinces.
Mm-hmm.
That in those days, when the king of Ahasuerus sat on the throne of his kingdom, which was in Shushan the palace. In the 3rd year of his reign, he made a feast unto all his princes and his servants, the power of Persia and Media, the nobles and princes of the provinces, being before him.
Now jump to verse 10.
Verse 10.
No, verse 8. Verse 9.
Verse 9. Also, Vashti, the queen, made a feast for the women in the royal house.
So he made a feast, the king, and the queen made a feast. And she made a feast for women. His wife Vashti made a feast for the women. Go ahead.
Which belonged to the king Ahasuerus. On the 7th day, when the heart of the king was merry with wine, he commanded Mehaman, Bista, Harbona, Bigtha, and Abagtha, Zethah, and Carcass, the 7 chamberlains that served in the presence of Ahasuerus the king, to bring Vashti the queen before the king with the crown royal, to show the people and the princess her beauty, for she was fair to look up.
Because she was bad, she was fine. See, so I want you to come out here and show you how pretty you are to my comrades here. Go ahead.
But the queen Vashti refused.
She said, "No, I'm not coming out there. I don't want to." Go ahead.
To come at the king's commandment by his chamberlains. Therefore was the king very wroth, and his anger burned in him.
He was pissed off. Go ahead.
Then the king said to the wise men, which knew the times, for so was the king's manner to all that knew law and judgment. And the next unto him was Karshina, Shartha, Amatha, Tarshish, Miras, and Marsana, and Mimakin, the 7 princes of Persia and the Media.
His advisors. Go ahead.
Which saw the king's face, and which sat the first in the kingdom.
So how mad he was. Go ahead.
What shall we do unto Queen Vashti according to law? Because she hath not performed the commandment of the king Ahasuerus by the chamberlains.
What should we do with this woman? She just dissed the king. What should we do with her? Go ahead.
And Memucan answered before the king and the princes, Vashti the queen hath not done wrong to the king only, but also to all the princes and to all the people that are in all the provinces of the king Ahasuerus.
By her actions, not only did she disrespect the king, but she set an example for disrespect of the women throughout all the kingdom. She set a bad example. Go ahead, watch this.
Verse 17. For this deed of the queen shall come abroad unto all women, so that they shall despise their husbands in their eyes. When it shall be reported, the king Ahasuerus commanded Vashti the queen to be brought in before him, but she came not.
So we let this thing go unpunished. It'll set the example that all the women in the kingdom can disrespect their husbands as the queen disrespected the king. Go ahead.
Likewise shall the ladies of Persia and Media say this day unto all the king's princes, which have heard of the deed of the queen. Thus shall there arise too much contempt and wrath.
There arise feminism in the kingdom. Go ahead.
If it please the king, let there go a royal commandment from him, and let it be written among the laws of the Persians and the Medes, that it be not altered, that Vashti come no more before King Ahasuerus, and let the king give her royal estate unto another that is better than she.
Get rid of her. Get rid of this woman. Find you a new wife. Go ahead.
Verse 20. And when the king's decree, which he shall make, shall be published throughout all his empire, for it is great, all the wives shall give to their husband honor, both to great and small.
Those rich and poor. Their wives will honor them based upon the actions of the king against his rebellious wife. Go ahead.
And the saying pleased the king and the princes, and the king did according to the word of Memucan.
Watch this verse. 22 is my favorite verse. Watch this.
For he sent letters into all the king provinces, and to every province according to the writing thereof, and to every people after their language, that every man should bear rule in his own house.
Every man should bear rule in his house over his women. Go ahead.
And that it should be published according to the language of every people.
And every man in his kingdom is commanded to have their house in order, including the king himself. So this Persian king shut feminism down.
That's right.
That's right.
Shut it down. All right. So we're going to end on that as part 1. Hope y'all got something out of this. I'm going to continue part 2 next week. All right.
All praise.
So, got announcements? You want to say something?
All praise to the Most High. Support us, Israel. Make sure you like, comment, and share this, and spread the word. Spread the word that, like I said.
I'm sorry, real
Yes,
quick.
sir.
Showing the images real quick of the books from the first episode real fast. I showed y'all. I got a few seconds left, right?
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm gonna show them real quick. The
No,
books.
we got
I
23.
I promise y'all, I'll show you the books that I used last on the first episode. The first book is this right here. Come on, not got much time.
Oh, snap.
That's the first one right there. Blow it up so we can see it. That's a picture of us in Egypt. That's called Pictorial History of Israel. Okay, that's the first book I used. Next one. I got 4 seconds. It's gonna cut off, right?
Yeah, it's gonna cut off. I gotta get the. Yeah, we'll do it next week, D.
All right.
Yeah, we'll do it next week.
All right.
Hey, we got announcements. All right.
Okay, it's gonna be all right.
I can get paid tomorrow.
Oh man.
I'll get paid tomorrow.
Go ahead.
All right. All praise to the Most High.
I'm gonna show them books, man.
Yeah, you can show them next week after I get them. I'll be good. Man. Listen, nobody gets them until I get them. That's the rule of thumb. You know what I'm saying? The master paid me tomorrow. I was good. I can get books too. So support our Hidden History show. Like I said, if you want to donate to our Hidden History show, as you can see, none of this is free. You want better pixels, you want better quality, support us so we can update and present it to you even better. So you can donate to iuic.newjersey@israelunite.org. Put in the description box. Donation for our history radio show. Like I said, also, if you want to donate to the Booster Club, donate to iuic.fundraising@israelunite.org. iuic.fundraising@israelunite.org. Support this truth, support the troops. All right?
All right.
Anything else?
Nope. Yeah, so Lord's will next week. I'll make sure I bring up the books I brought out. The first episode. I showed you one. I got 3 more to show y'all. 4 more, and that's it. All right? And Cap will be happy. He'll have them by that time.
I'll be good, baby.
Or not.
Oh, no. I will be good.
He will have them. All right.
Oh, yes.
So, shalom.
Hey, quick shout out to Officer Ariel from DC and Sister Shay. That's bringing the kingdom to pass with a righteous marriage.
Yes.
Shout out to them.
Shouts to them. Shouts to them.
Praise to the Most High.
Also, we like to shout out the brothers behind the scenes.
Oh, yes.
What the heck was that?
I don't know what that was. So they did it again with the sound effects. Go ahead.
Oh gosh!
Go ahead.
Somebody put
from that thing.
You're gonna get fired. You're gonna get fired for
somebody
that.
put a Southern Kingdom brother there.
You're gonna fire them. Go ahead, Cap. Go ahead.
All right. Yes. Also, we like to shout out the brothers behind the scenes. The brothers that make this. You know, the brother in the IT. You know, you have Officer Yosef came down from far. You know, to help assist us.
Yes.
You know, all praise to the Most High.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate you, brother.
Please don't leave again. Please don't leave us again.
And all the other brothers from Philly. You know, we got Icon Pete. Remember, sister, support him too. He's single. He's single.
Gosh.
And put the camera on my man, Icon Pete, right
The Icon Pete, man. That's the black ball, man. That's the purest more we have right
black
now.
and beautiful brother right there.
It's a black ball right there, man. Icon Pete.
Support the troops as well as support the brothers, the single brothers. Genesis 2 is not good for man to be alone. It's not good for man to be alone. So support my brother right there. You know. Yes, also we'd like to thank yeah, look at that smile. My man Icon Pete.
The whitest teeth.
Oh, look at the hair. Also, like I said, we like to thank the sisters that get up every morning to supply us with our food. We love it. Thank you for your support, sisters.
Yes, very much.
We really appreciate it. All right. Anybody? Anything else?
No, that's it. A great class dig. All
More
praises to the Most High, man.
Yes, sir.
Israel says shalom. Most High Christ bless.
Most High Christ bless.
Shalom, Most High Christ bless.